I must say, I am perpetually shocked by the depths of the depravity when it comes to a lot of these, streamers, influencers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I told you guys there was a story of all these influencers who lived in the Gulf Arab states, the playground of the 1%, and they, as soon as the war started, they fled so quickly, and they literally left their dogs behind, and they left their animals behind. And there was like a record number of calls to like shelters and shit being like, you gotta take my animal, I'm leaving. Literally even to the point where they were like, I'll just have my animal euthanized because I don't care about this fucking animal. I'm just trying to get out of here. Like, this is how disgusting the influencer class is. They're so gross. They're so fucking gross. I feel like I need to take a shower. Just the fact that I'm even loosely affiliated with these disgusting fucks, it sickens me to no end. Well, anyway, the king of the fucking streamers is, of course, a guy by the name of Asmeinkampf, or as we call him, Asmeinkampf. And he's somehow getting worse by the day, bro. He is somehow getting worse by the day. I mean, he started gargling Trump's nuts not that long ago. He, of course, said some casually genocidal shit about Palestinians, which is like the first political comments that I saw that came onto my radar. Well, now he's trying to find a way to go even lower than that. Okay, so talking about the Iran war, and he says this.
Sounds going nuts about a school getting bombed. Oh, a school got bombed? Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, again, any time that I hear somebody trying to cry and get upset about like, oh my God, Israel and America bombed a school, Iran killed thousands of their own people. And
Iran killed thousands of their own people. So we should be allowed to bomb their elementary schools? It's so wrong that they killed their own people. So now we're going to kill their own people. Because it was wrong that they killed their own people. You might want to like workshop some of this shit before you go on air and start babbling, you unwashed fuck. Like you just might want to like, hey, you know what? Let me do a little outline here. Let me write a little framework skis, okay? Let me jot out the Cliff Notes version of what I'm going to say when tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people are watching me. You think, no, you don't want to do that? You don't care if you contradict yourself, make an ass of yourself, say some fucking depraved genocidal shit? Like, none of that matters to you? Apparently not.
America bombed a school. Iran killed thousands of their own people, and nobody was really talking about that at all.
I saw endless fucking talk about that to the point where it was very clear they were making numbers up. Some of them literally tried to argue that more people died in a couple days of protests in Iran than died throughout the entire genocide that Israel did to Gaza. That's how ridiculous these people are. That 30,000 number, by the way, completely and utterly made up. Completely and utterly made up. There's fucking zero evidence for it. Did they kill some people? I'm sure. Wasn't anywhere near fucking 30,000. And all the same people were like, actually, they're faking the deaths in Gaza. All of them were like, it's like 100,000 Iranians killed by the Iranian regime. These people fall, fucking Hassan called them Asman cattle, because like they fall for the dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life, the worst propaganda you've ever seen, and they will slurp that bitch up as long as it comes from Trump or people adjacent to Trump.
People, and nobody was really talking about that at all. So yeah, I mean, if a school gets bombed and kids get killed, it's sad. It's obviously a tragedy, but it's collateral damage in a war, and it's sad. It's an obvious tragedy, but it's collateral damage in a war. Saying it's collateral damage implies it was a mistake. What we now learned is it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was a Tomahawk missile that specifically targeted that building. Okay? We are now double digits when it comes to hospitals and schools that have been hit. At some point, you got to go, you know what? I think this is on purpose. I think this is the point. I think terrorizing the civilians is the point. Israel attacked the oil refinery, and now a city of 10 million people are under toxic rain that causes cancer and lung issues and all sorts of health problems. Was that a mistake? Oh, I'm sorry. Did we poison a whole city of 10 million people? Our bad. That was a mistake. We didn't mean to do that. Yes, you fucking did. Yes, you did. And it's people like this. This is why I can't stand these sorts of people, is they never stop for 1 second to think, hold on, what if we actually are the baddies? It never occurred to him. What if our intent is actually not pure and it's not good? What if it has nothing to do with freedom and democracy and liberty and like, spreading the proper values? What if we actively want a broken region of the world, a failed state, warlords to fucking gain control, open slave markets, and that makes it so there is no regional adversary for Israel and they could take over the entire area? What if that's exactly what's going on here? And it would never occur to them, ever, in a million years, because, we're us, and we're good, because we're us. Insane, simpleton shit is what this is. To see a tragedy, but it's collateral damage in a war, and it's inevitable, number one.
It's inevitable to bomb an elementary school. It's inevitable to bomb double-digit hospitals and schools. Inevitable. It's like a hurricane. It's like a tornado. It's like just like an act of nature. There's nothing we could do. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, it just happens. You know, you wake up, sometimes you wake up and you go, oops, did I bomb an elementary school and kill little girls? Tee-hee-hee. It happened. Just like you got to wake up and you got to go take a piss. Sometimes you wake up and you press a big red button and you murder an elementary school full of kids. It just happens, right?
And number two, if they didn't want that to happen, maybe they shouldn't have been funding terror groups and antagonizing a world superpower like America.
I didn't know that the elementary school was doing that. That's kind of crazy. The elementary school was doing that? That's crazy. See, I thought they were just little kids that were going and learning. That's what I thought. My bad, dog. I didn't realize they were doing all that.
If they didn't want that to happen, maybe they shouldn't have been funding terror groups and antagonizing a world superpower like America. Like if you, and this is what I think is ridiculous, right? Is that how is it that you can antagonize somebody for so many years and then they attack you back and now you're the victim?
That is fucking hilarious because the only people antagonizing are Israel. And it's always been. Asmongold has no idea that Iran agreed to the strictest controls on the enriched uranium right before they were attacked. He has no idea. They basically gave the U.S. negotiators, fine, we'll do whatever the fuck you want. Didn't matter, they were attacked. They followed the Iran agreement perfectly. The JCPOA in 2015, they followed it perfectly, verified over a dozen times. And then Trump got in there and violated the agreement and ripped up the deal. And somehow Iran's the problem. Somehow Iran is antagonizing. The fact of the matter is, every step of the way, Israel and the U.S. were antagonizing. That's an objective, stone-cold fact. Okay? But he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything about the history of the region. He doesn't know anything about 1953 and the overthrowing of Mohammed Mossadegh that the CIA and MI6 did, where we overthrew their leader because they nationalized their oil so that the people of Iran could profit from their own natural resources. Then the Islamic Revolution was a direct result of the Western puppet dictator being brutal and repressive. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. Like, that's why people say about Asmongold, his whole show is watching what Trump does, giggling and going, yeah, based. Like, thank you for your fucking genius input. And by the way, this is where so many people are going now. They're done with like the Ben Shapiro, highfalutin, fake intellectual bullshit. And they're just like, give me some unwashed idiot in his room giggling and agreeing with anything Trump does without researching any of it.
The fact is, what I'm saying is accurate. Still doesn't excuse the double tap. Only reason for that is to kill medical. Well, of course you should kill their medical.
Of course you should kill their medical. Doctors, nurses, paramedics, of course, they're fair game. Murder them. By the way, I'm sure he would feel like this if it was, the elementary school of a family member that went there and they got murdered. I'm sure he'd say, well, that's fair game, right? I'm sure if it was the hospital by him, if it got bombed, well, that's fair game. We're at war, right? I'm sure he'd feel that way. I'm sure it's not just because it's the other that he feels like this, right?
Of course you should kill their medical. Like, if they're helping, of course you should kill their medics. Like, if you have these people that are helping these soldiers that are terrorizing you and fighting against you, you should, of course, shoot them.
The whole point about the medical profession is they don't distinguish. Like, if you are a serial killer and you're locked up for life, you still have a fundamental right to medical care. It's not like, oh, since you're a serial killer, you get cancer, and now we're just going to let you rot with the cancer and not get any treatment whatsoever. Like, that's not how it works. In civilized, functional societies that give the basic bare minimum of a shit about human rights, this stuff is off the table. Everybody deserves medical care, right? And here he is saying, well, yeah, but if you're helping people who I think are bad, who I have defined as bad, therefore, you're fair game. God, he is spiritually Israeli, right? He is spiritually Israeli with how he talks about this shit, isn't he?
You should, of course, shoot them. Duh. Ugh. Like, what are you talking about? That's a war... What? Yes, absolutely. That's a war crime? What do you mean? The medics? Yes, absolutely. It's a brutal take. It's not a brutal take. The fact...
My God. All right, and then here he goes. Trump is not enough of a warmonger. He's actually a pussy.
I said it last year. I think that Trump is such a pussy. I do. I think he is the biggest fucking bitch. It makes me... Like, we should be doing something like Maduro once a week.
We should be doing an illegal and offensive regime change where we bomb and kill grandmas like Rosa Gonzalez, rest in peace. And then we should steal their natural resources and put it in a private bank account in Qatar so Trump can get personally rich off of all of Venezuela's oil. That's what he wants to do every week.
Like, once a week, we need to be doing that. Like, we have this arm.
I love how he's so cucked, he doesn't even realize that this does nothing for you. That this is literally only for the Epstein class. The fucking disgusting pervert, rapist, pedophile Epstein class that somehow you think you're going to get good things off of? Are you insane? They're the enemy of humanity, and so are you.
$1 trillion a year for the army. You're telling us we can only do this like once every 4 years? Come on. Give me a break. and not radical enough. I know. He's a massive fucking bitch. The reason why I don't like Trump isn't because he's extreme. It's because he's not extreme.
He needs to do more war. He needs to overthrow more countries. He needs to steal more natural resources. How are you not just a Nazi? Like, shouldn't you just say, I am a Nazi? Like, shouldn't you just admit that? Because that's what this shit is. That's what this mindset, that's what this ideology is. You want to loot, you want to pillage, you want to massacre innocent people, kill kids, kill medics, overthrow more countries, steal their shit. Like, I don't know, man. Something is completely fucking gone in the mind of people like this. Like, this is just unsalvageable, in my opinion, you know? Like, things that 99% of people would agree are gross. Like, think about the number of people who reacted to the bombing of the elementary school with disgust and horror and thought, like, oh my God, that's horrible, right? And think of his reaction. Like, I don't know who this is for. And by the way, if you watch this guy, like, it's not too late to fucking jump ship, right? It's not too late to jump ship. Because this is as depraved as it gets. And usually people like to think of themselves to one extent or another as the good guy and like having the right values. And when you're now openly defending bombing doctors and bombing elementary school kids and, you know, asking Trump to do more war because apparently the fucking 8 that he's doing are not enough, like, it kind of is hard to keep that veneer of like, I'm a good person, right? Like, even that sort of goes away in that scenario. But anyway, there you have it. That's why he's called Asmeinkampf. All right, guys, that's the show, y'all. I love y'all very much. You know the drill. Everybody subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon. You can also support the show on Patreon and support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack and go sub to Corn's World. Live Kyle and Corn episodes every Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, I love you guys and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.